Hey everybody, and welcome to Leia's Lair. In today's episode, I will be going over our top 10 most deadly diseases in the Star Wars galaxy. Star Wars has been known to have many dangers, such as Sith, Rancors, Wampas, but one area that has often been overlooked are the dangers of viruses and diseases. At number 10, we have Hibernation Sickness. Bad enough that you've been betrayed by your so-called friend. Bad enough that your girlfriend's dad turned you into a piece of art. Picture the shock of coming back to life a year later in Jabba the Hutt's court, confused and afraid, weak, blind, and aching. That's hibernation sickness, the result of a process described as constant, waking last breath. No wonder Han Solo was so befuddled once he'd been freed by an undercover Princess Leia. Occasionally, the effects of hibernation sickness led to death, but more often than not, they wane and retreat after a day or so. Potentially the victim could be held for weeks, months, even years in such a frozen state, and as such the effects of hibernation sickness would still be worse. Not strictly a disease, more so a side effect of a traumatic process, it certainly reminds us not to cross your future in-laws.
We would be honored if you would join.
Number 9. Endregaad Plague. One of these illnesses is the Endregaad Plague. Don't be fooled into thinking that this virulent, quick-to-spread, but non-lethal disease isn't a huge threat. Presented initially as a fever, the onset of Endregaad Plague leads to extreme loss of bodily fluids, a noticeable crusting around the eye and mouth areas, and the swelling of the tongue and fingers. Research led doctors to learn that there is no natural immunity to the plague, and to their knowledge, there is only one known treatment: medicinal spice. Regular treatments ease the plague, but a steady and regular course is required, which isn't cheap to acquire. Mutating from a similar virus originally found on the planet Varl, doctors feared that the plague could again mutate, and with no natural immunity to the disease, it could spread throughout the stars like wildfire. Number 8. Mon Calamari Nerveshock. Being a largely aquatic species, Mon Calamari children had extra levels of danger to face when growing up. No, I'm not talking about peeing in the pool. I mean a deadly virus called Mon Calamari Nerveshock. Fatal if not immunized against, the disease would lay dormant for years before exploding inside its host and attacking the nervous system. By this time, it was already too late to save the patient, and so a process of immunization was started to inoculate Mon Cala youngsters and bypass the disease's terrible effects. Number 7. Grey Death. FNV-23, also known as the Grey Death, is another deadly virus. Created by Dr. Fezio Naglim under the auspice of the Imperial-funded pathogen-based loyalty enhancement program, this is particularly nasty. The virus has the ability to change its own antigen needs, meaning that it's practically impossible for the victim to develop any kind of immunity. However, the Empire did develop an antiviral drug to counterbalance FNV-23, called FNA-23-B. This holds traces of FNV-23 within it, so the cure is also a delivery system for the disease, creating an endless cycle of dependency. Number 6. Bloodburn. Another illness to worry about in the galaxy is bloodburn. Highly rare and often terminal, bloodburn does exactly what its name suggests. It causes the body to overheat and the blood to thicken, causing a painful death. Hydration eases its effects, as does Hedera serum injections, but a life away from the rigors of space travel is more often than not an immediate order from the attending medical droid. Number 5. Festerlung. In a galaxy peppered with every imaginable climate and environment, it was wise for the intrepid galactic traveler to take precautions. Carry a fully charged blaster, keep a medkit to hand, and when possible, even when the air is breathable for your species, wear a mask. This was never better advice than when on human jungle planets like Drongar. Here, the very air is a threat. Carried in microscopic spores that are easily inhaled, Ascomycetes pneumoconiosis, also known as Festerlung, claims its victims silently, infecting to the point of death by raising body temperatures to such a high level they're practically cooked alive in their own juices. Yikes! Number 4. Brainrot Plague. This horrific airborne virus targets humanoids and cephalopods, attacking the central nervous system, causing nausea, sweats, communication breakdown, and if untreated by immunization, a swift death. Used by the Separatists during the Clone Wars as a form of germ warfare, Brainrot Plague, otherwise known as Ladorvian Brain Plague, wiped out the entire humanoid population of the Wee-Mel sector, leaving it uninhabitable. It even struck the Manarai Heights area of Coruscant, leading to public service announcements and awareness campaigns by the Coruscant Health Office. It comes in 3 variations, A, B, and C. So if it doesn't get you the first time, there are always 2 other types lurking around to get you later. Number 3, the Crimson Forever. Some diseases cause physical ails, some mental, and some both. The Crimson Forever falls into the second bracket, hitting its victims with both at the same time. Created by the separation of 2 powerful gemstones, the first signal of illness is the victim falling into a deep coma, followed by an infection of the eyes, which sends them blood red, hence the name Crimson Forever. Later stages of the disease turn the entire skin of the victim red before a feverish death. Producing a negative aura in the Force, the Crimson Forever is lethal to all who feel its effects. Number 2, the Blue Shadow Virus.
The return of the infamous Blue Shadow Virus.
The Blue Shadow Virus, in its natural form, was a waterborne virus. A victim infected with the plague only had 48 hours to live before the virus became fatal. It was notorious for being supposedly incurable, with a 96% success rate in killing carbon-based life forms. An antidote was able to be synthesized with Rixia root, a rare plant only found on the planet Yago. Number 1, the Rakghoul Plague. This one might be the most terrifying of the 10. A mere bite or scratch from an infected host, and within a span of 6 to 48 hours, you turn into a Rakghoul, a monstrous mindless creature brought about by a Sith-engineered disease concocted by the ancient Sith Lord Karnus Mur. Attempting to cheat death as all Sith do, Mur transformed his will and power into the Mur Talisman, an amulet which could transform nearby sentient beings into Rakghouls, and those in turn could infect and turn almost any other sentient being other than Force sensitives. It's another disease with 2 strains, the Bozan strain and the Hirano strain, and the cure, the Rakghoul serum, would struggle to provide resistance over the years as the Rakghouls would develop immunity. The disease caused as much death and destruction as a Star Destroyer. And there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. What do you think of these Star Wars diseases? Let us know down below in the comment section. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more great videos to come. We hope to see you all again in Leia's Lair.